What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of On Another Line Live. We've been off air for what seems like an eternity, but we're back. We're going to start doing uh, live fishing shows every Tuesday, as you guys are um, used to, sort of, over the past couple of years. And taking a break since about April. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But right after this short intro, we're going to get right back into it.
Gotta get your arms way up in a cast and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-Loomis right. I bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck and give it a whirl. Hello and welcome to my world.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of On Another Line Live. Again, we've been gone for what seems like an eternity. It's almost been a daggone year. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about my plans for this coming year. Guys, I appreciate you guys joining in. Hey, man, what's going on? See some people out there tagging some people. Appreciate that. 9 people right now live again. Those of you guys that I'm sure you guys know why you're here or who I am, but if not, my name is Tyler Waller. I run this On Another Line Facebook, YouTube page that I like to create a fishing community and a lot of people that I have the same passion over the years. And it's been a long time coming, but I'm going to talk to you guys. What's up? What's happening, David Howard? How you doing, buddy? Andrew Six in the house. What's up? Got a lot of people coming in. Appreciate it, guys. So again, we're back. We are back. Again, over the last few months, it's been a crazy year for me. You guys know that I lost my dad in April of this year, which was obviously hard on myself and hard on everybody. But it's it's one of those things where you got to go through it. But since then, it's not because my dad passed away that I haven't been doing this. It's the fact that everything that goes along with that has taken up my entirety of my life. It seems like selling a house and buying or moving into my dad's house is where I'm at now. And we're finally in here, and I sold my other house, and we were lucky enough to pay this house off with the profit I made from the other house. So it's been a crazy year, but it's been a very rewarding year in a sense. I've fished a little bit, not a ton, not as much as I wanted to, but the 2023 fishing season is going to be big and bigger and better than it's ever been for me. Because I said this last year, but I never really had the opportunity to go through with it because life happens. Um, I set a goal this year for 4,000 subscribers, and I'm about 100 away, which I'm not super mad about. Again, because I've put little to no effort into my channels this year because again of everything that's happened, and sometimes life happens and that's the way it goes. Um, so I have now set a goal to try to hit 6,000 subscribers, which is 2,000 more than I have right now by the end of the 2023 fishing season. But I am going to produce more content and start fishing a lot more tournaments and get out on the water a lot more. Barring that life doesn't happen again. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around with me and liking my videos and watching and stuff. It's been a great year. I got to go to Lake St. Clair a few times. Fished up there a bunch. I got to go down to Lake Wheeler and fish with my buddy Dusty Smith down there for a while. Thanks to the help of Greg Drowns and Tackle Box, I secured a new graph for my boat, which is a long time coming. I got a Humminbird Solix 15 Gen 3. The thing is absolutely crazy, amazing good. Is it expensive? Absolutely. It's stupid expensive. About $3,500 retail. But I will tell you, one of the things that I have noticed over the past month of owning this thing is that it does make a difference in my fishing. The only thing it did make a difference to me is that I am going to have to have one for the front of my boat. I won't have a 15 up there because I just don't have the cash to do that. But I'm looking at that I did have the opportunity to fish with my buddy J.R. White, who has live scope on his boat, which is obviously Garmin this past weekend. was the first time I've ever experienced live scope as a as a beginning angler to it. It's actually really daggone cool. I'm sure most of you guys have used it, or maybe you guys have it on your boat. It's a game changer for what I could see myself doing. It's pretty crazy. Hey Larry, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining in. What's up, Aaron? Hey, buddy. Yeah, I assume that Facebook user that keeps tagging everybody is probably Mark Hickey, but I don't know what's up with it, man. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll come through. If that's you, Mark, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Um, so again, I'm going to show you guys a. I'm sure you guys have seen it on my Facebook here, but I'm going to show you guys something that's pretty crazy to me because um I didn't know anything about um the high end graphs. I never had them. Again, so let's see if I can find a grab this video file here, or not the video file, but the picture I'm trying to show here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. All right, let's do this. So, pretty crazy piece of evidence here that comes into the idea of high end graphs and are they worth it? A lot of people apparently already knew this was here before I did because they must have better graphs than I do. But this is one of the first screenshots that I had taken on my new Humminbird from Gatesville. This is actually most of you guys may already know where this is at, but this is close to the mouth of Greenbrier, near the beach. I was just scanning along trying to find some fish, and one of the cool things you can see here in the down scan image here is that you can see the thermocline amazing, and it's right at about the 20-foot mark, which allowed me to target those fish that's probably going to be deeper than that. They're going to be roughly in that area. 20-foot diving crankbait. I caught some fish with that. But you can see here, this is an old bridge that I assume that they probably dynamited before they filled the lake up. But this is one of the really cool things that I found that was what's up, Tank? What's up, buddy? Matt Strickland in the house. So yeah, I mean, live scope is crazy. I it's I wish so. I've been a huge fan of Humminbird products. The Gen 3 Solix I can't talk about enough. Obviously, this is not a paid sponsorship, and give me my legit uh, idea about it because this is the first time I've ever had anything like this on my boat. I paid full price for it, like you guys would. So it's not like that they're paying me to say this, but I will say that it's changed the way I fish. But I wish that Humminbird had something that was as good as LiveScope. I hate the fact of running 3 or 4 different name brands of drafts. One, because they're so expensive. I don't think that the Humminbird 360 does exactly, it's not even close to where LiveScope is. They do have that new live imaging stuff, but I don't think it's, as good as the LiveScope stuff. So I think what you're going to see on my boat eventually is I'm going to have the 15-inch Solix on the back. I'm probably going to put a 12-inch Solix on the front of my boat with a 10-inch Garmin with live scope. I think that's going to be the deal. That's a lot of cash. I mean, because right now I'm at a point where another thing that happened this summer, which was really cool, is I paid my boat off. I do have a little bit of disposable income to put onto my boat and things. Um, Looking at upgrading my trolling motor and buying those 2 graphs, but you're looking at $7,000 worth of upgrades there, which is something I'm going to have to work through. And I'm just going to keep picking them off like I did the Solix 15. Put a little money back and buy it. Dude, I saw that fish you caught the other day. You had your boy holding. If that comes from LiveScope, that paid for itself right there. What's up, Eric? Thanks for joining, buddy. Really, Wally, that's pretty cool. Um, that I mean, it doesn't make it. That was one of the things that I was really leery about with this Solix 15 is that I know the ping's coming from the transducer. You don't realize it as much. Grab a Humminbird or Lowrance or Garmin or whatever, and turn that thing on and listen in a garage or something, and listen to it. It sounds to me like electricity arcing is what it sounds like to me. Obviously, I know that's not the truth, but it sounds like electricity arcing. So if I can hear it, that's going to be amplified in the water. Can fish hear that? Yes. Have I seen pros say that they? Yes. You also see people like Jacob Wheeler who have like 6 graphs on their boat, or at least 5 of them on their boat, and he still absolutely whacks fish. So do I feel like it has something to do with it? Yes. And you could be 100% true there. I would not doubt that a bit. I do know that different baits and things that they see 1,000 times over. A buddy of mine, JR, and I were talking about how the Ned rig still catches fish, but I don't think it catches as many as it did when it very first came around in our area because so many people are using it right now, and a lot of fish are seeing it. Hey, Stacey, I appreciate it. I'll take a look at that. And that's one thing that I'm just now learning this stuff. So you're going to see some videos coming out from me according to how I have my stuff set up. And it may or not be right, but I have learned from videos on YouTube. So not only do I create videos, but I'm also watching videos to try to learn how to fish these high-end graphs better. Hey, Fred, what's up, buddy? Yeah, so I mean, like I said, just turn it on. You can hear that ping. It's obviously I know how sonar works. It's it sends out a sound, it bounces off the stuff, and then it actually takes the time delay in there and figures out how deep it is. The mega imaging stuff is working on a different frequency. Obviously, you're looking at like 1.7 or 1.07, I think, megahertz, which is changing the frequency a little bit. One of the things that I noticed right off the bat that I don't like about Humminbird, and I will tell you, is the mapping system, the way they have it set up, sucks. I love the maps, but where I am from, let's see if I can figure this out. I'll show you guys. So Humminbird Lake Master, obviously, is their mapping stuff. It is super good. They had the ability to buy certain lakes, and it worked out great for me. Like, for example, I went down to Lake Wheeler, and I bought the Lake Wheeler map, and I had it on my phone, and I could see where I was going because I didn't have my graph at the time. But I bought that, and it was $30. It was $29 for the whole entire, like, really in-depth um, contour lines and like fish marks and things like that. It was $30. I was willing to pay $30 for that map because it saved me from one, wrecking my boat, two, killing somebody on my boat, and three, potentially trying to catch a fish, which was third compared to all those other two. Um, Now, for some reason, they've taken it off the app to be able to do that. There's a new app coming. The Total Boat Network is coming as far as an application, and from what I understand, you can go back and buy certain lakes. Like, for example, there's a few lakes that I fish around my area. You guys know that if you follow my YouTube channel. Grayson, Yatesville, Rocky Fork, Paint Creek, the Ohio River, whether that be the is it Meldal or Mendal Pool? Somebody give me an idea. I thought it was a Meldal Pool, but according to their mapping stuff, it says Mendal. But anyway, one of the things that I hate about Humminbird is the fact of where I live puts you right in the middle of 3 different Lake Master cards. Well, you may think to yourself, that's not a huge deal. Just buy all 3 of them. Yeah, it's great, but they're $199 a piece. Meldo, I thought it was Meldo too. So anyway, back to the Lake Master stuff. If you were to look at their mapping stuff, where let's see if I can find the actual website that I can show you guys. Not sure that I can. find the exact map I'm looking for here. Anyway, how you guys doing out there tonight while I'm looking for this thing, man? I appreciate you guys joining. It's been a while. It's been forever since I've been on here. Hope you guys are staying fairly warm out there. The weather here in Ohio has been crazy. 75 degrees here today, which was crazy. Um, I've been seeing some massive fish being caught again. Aaron Strickland caught a big one there the other day. Um, I've seen a buddy of mine, actually a distant cousin of mine, caught a giant out of a farm pond that he owns. It's actually a lake. It was a really good one. It was a 7 pounder on a spring scale. He asked me, you know, what, how are they as accurate as, most other things? Probably not. But I tell you what, 7 pounder on a spring scale, I'll take it all day, every day. Anyway, I can't find the map I'm looking at right now. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. But one of the things that I have noticed that with the Humminbird Lake Master stuff is there's 3 different cards. I live in the most southern tip of Ohio, and the Great Lakes map gets me like the Greenup Pool of the Ohio River. It gives me the Meldal Pool. It gives me Indiana. It gives me Michigan. It gives me all of Ohio, and then a little bit of Pennsylvania. It's a great card, 199 bucks. Now, if I want to fish Grayson or Yatesville, that is in the Southern States map, which is another 199 bucks. And then if I want to fish places in West Virginia, that is another Lake Master chip, which is 199 bucks, which sucks. I think that's terrible, man. Like if you live in my area, you just might as well figure that and that's why I like the ability to buy like the Great Lakes card and then pick and choose the lakes that I wanted to buy other than that. Well, for some reason, they've taken that off the app right now on the Fish Smart app. So I'm hoping they bring that back because they've got a lot of the features turned off on the app as far as Fish Smart with Humminbird. But the ability to go in there and buy that stuff, like I would like to have the Great Lakes map, which will cover 90% of what I fish, be able to buy the Grayson Yatesville Lake, maybe like Del Hollow, somewhere like that. So I could get away with doing, a couple lakes here and there. But that's the only downfall so far that I see as far as having a 15-inch graph, the Humminbird. I'm telling you what, it is an absolute game changer. You always hear people saying it's worth the money, it's worth the money. For me, I had a hard time justifying it because 3,500 bucks for me is like that's over a month's salary for me. So work 4 weeks to buy a graph. I bit the bullet, and I will say that no matter what you're fishing, this is not again a paid sponsorship through Humminbird. I like Humminbird. I've always fished the stuff, Lowrance, Garmin, you name it. I think the high end stuff is worth. That's cool, Wally. I fished Cave Run for the first time ever this year. I think it was in March with Lewis County Lunkers. I went down there. Water was super, super, super high. Maybe you and I were even talking about it. Water was like 10 foot high, 10 foot higher than summer pool. And we're talking about winter pool times this March. I ended up going way back in the head of one of these creeks, like fishing in like 4-wheel drive mode. Ended up catching one fish, and I would have never weighed in any other place on the planet other than Cave Run. It was like 10.5 inches long. Have a weird slot limit there. I got my rear end kick. Fished the tournament last weekend with, I think it's the Big Bass Club. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Small little club that fishes in and around the Ohio River. They had a tournament out of Shawnee the other day. I fished all over the place. I ran down to Kinnickinnick Creek and started in there. Watched my buddy Brandon Buckner have a muskie on. It came off at the boat. I got a video of him catching that. I went up in Kinnickinnick, couldn't catch a fish. Water started getting really cold up in the 50s up in the farther I went. So I whipped around, came back out, went downriver to a rock pile that I knew about, went in there, fished for about 2 hours on that big rock flat, never got a bite in there except for one hybrid. Ran back all the way up the river, dang near to up around where Aaron's from. I could see the bridge there, the train trestle bridge. Fished in there for a while. Watched um, a dude I know, Kevin, catch one off of the bridge pillar there. Ran back down the river about in between there and Shawnee and found a big riprap bank that I didn't even know existed. Fished all the way down it, caught one 13-inch smallmouth. It was the only fish I caught all day. Caught it on, or only keeper fish I caught all day. Caught it on a 1.5 crankbait in a sexy shad collar, and it was a smallmouth, decent fish. The first 10 feet of that rock pile, I was like, yeah, I'm going to catch them on here. And I fished another quarter mile of that rock pile. I never caught another fish until the last 10 feet of it, and I ended up catching about a 40-inch muskie. It's the third one I think I've caught out of the Ohio River. They were biting like crazy on the Meldal pool the other day. I saw one being almost caught. I caught one. I think Kevin said he had one on, and I ended up catching a sauger up in the right next to the boat dock in Shawnee, which it was a good time. Brandon Buckner and Mac ended up winning the thing with two fish. They had a little over 5 pounds. Really tough day on the water. So that's what I've here, Herb. I haven't fished the river as much as I like. I've been doing the last month a lot of maintenance on my boat. I've never changed the spark plugs in my boat since I've owned it. Ordered some spark plugs. There's some new like iridium, I think, plugs that are calling for by Evinrude. Bought those things, put them in there. Definitely could feel the change in the way it starts and the way that it runs. Um, right now, guys, if you live in a cold area, now's the time to be, getting your boat ready for the cold weather. I'm not saying that you have to put your boat up forever. I'm not saying you got to put your boat up at all. But right now is the time to be checking your lower unit oil. Make sure there's no water in there. Make sure your seals are good. Um, Best thing to do if you don't know how to do that, there's two plugs on a lower unit on pretty much any boat, but on an outboard for sure. There is a fill tube, or there's a one at the top and one at the bottom. Bottom's a drain. The top one is air. If you don't take the top one out and you just pull the bottom one out, it won't let it run all the way out. You can just see what's going on the first couple drops that come out. If it's white or milky, you definitely want to change it. You're going to have some kind of water in there, and that's going to cause the water could freeze and bust. Ask me how I know. Luckily, knock on wood, it's never happened to my boat. But me and Kyle fished down in South Carolina at Hartwell in March of one year, right around the Bassmaster Classic there, and then it was like 70. It was the coldest Bassmaster Classic on history. It was like 33 degrees or something at takeoff. But we fished there, drove all the way home, and there was almost a foot of snow on the ground when we got back. Put his boat back in his garage, went back a couple weeks later to go fish Grayson, and his lower unit had basically exploded. There's a lock ring or a ring that holds the what I'm going to call the carrier bearing in there, and then it just busted all that out. It was not good. So right now, again, if it gets cold enough to freeze that stuff, definitely check that stuff out. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive, and especially if you get in the area where you have some place like Chris's or Freedom Outdoors or somewhere around here that they'll do that for you for probably less than $100, and you don't have to deal with it. You'll be good to go. Oh yeah, and Strickland, Strict Marine can help you winterize stuff too, whether that be outboard, inboard, whatever. Strick, I'm gonna have to get a hold of you. Got some stuff going on with my boat finish. I don't know what it is. Might be oxidation. I don't know, but I can feel it. It's like really rough. Some parts of it is super smooth. Some parts of it is really rough. I really want to think that it's probably sunscreen, man. I think it's that spray sunscreen that gets on my boat, and you don't think about it. But you can rub your hand down the top, of the gunnel of my boat, and you can feel it. Hey, Sean, what's up, buddy? You guys been catching any fish lately? Water temperature. Went to a new lake to me over the weekend. I'm sure a lot of you guys, some of you guys have watched the video and already know where it's at. I'm not going to divulge that information because I feel like it's a little known secret. Way back in the backwoods of West Virginia, Went there with J.R. White. We fished like upriver from where, or up the creek, or whatever you want to say, of this lake. It started getting deeper and deeper and colder. I think we should have went the other way and fished more shallow, and we would probably caught some. Jr. put it on me. He caught 4 fish. I never caught a single fish. It was the first time I've been in the back of a boat since BFLs in Lake St. Clair, which is something I'm going to get back into. Kyle and I have a plan right now going forward. Um, I personally may fish the Buckeye Division. I'm not a huge fan of the schedule. It's not super terrible. They're fishing Tanner's Creek, I think, the first tournament, and I think that's in May. And then they're going to Erie, I think, and then back to Indian Lake, and then Maysville, and I think back to Erie, which is not a terrible thing. The only thing that I hate about it is that the regional is at the Potomac River again for the Buckeye Division. Last time I made the regional, or the first time I made the regional tournament, was in Potomac River. It's like 11-hour drive for me. It's a long way. So I may fish the Mountain Division, come down there with Mark and those guys and fish. My goal with Kyle right now, depending on what the Ohio Bass Nation tournament trail looks like, is the Ohio Bass Nation has a tournament trail that is team based, meaning that Kyle and I can fish out of the same boat and be a team, which is something we never get to do. They fish fairly local to us. Obviously, it's all Ohio. They normally fish like they sometimes have Rocky Fork, a lot of times have Erie a couple times, but we're waiting for them to release that schedule. We're also going to look at the Kentucky Bass Nation because they have a team tournament trail as well. But I'm going to get back into the side of tournament fishing a little bit more this year as a co-angler, just for the fact that I miss it so much and I enjoy meeting new people and learning new things when it comes to fishing. Maybe we'll see each other out on the water. Hey Jim, thanks for joining, man. Yeah, so that's probably what it is, but I think I'll just pay Aaron the money and have him do it because I'm lazy. What's up, Kevin? What's up, buddy? Yeah, so Indian Lake is weird. First of all, if you guys haven't been following the saga that is Indian Lake, I think they got it under control a little bit because they had like some kind of machines in there harvesting this stuff. But at the beginning of last year, before the summertime got really hyped up and got really hot, they were having trouble with boats running across the lake and overheating because the weeds were so thick across it. So, do I think that's good for fishing? Sure. It's going to give fish a lot more population or a lot more places to inhabit, and it's going to have great fish habitat. But if they don't get that stuff under control, it's going to be it was almost impossible to fish last year until later on in the summer. There was very few places that you could fish, and those places that you could fish were just getting absolutely hammered because the boats that were in there knew that was basically the only place you could fish. So Indian Lake's they're gonna have to do something. Do I think they need to spray the weeds? I'm gonna say no because we all know that that's terrible. But I do think that they're going to have to do something this year about that, or the Indian Lake tournament for the Buckeye Division, which is in July, which is going to be even more tough tournament because going to be a lot of people stacked in like the game preserve back in there, flipping lily pads and stuff. So I guess I'm going to have to uh, dig in and buy a couple 1 ounce Eco Pro tungsten weights and take it with me because I know whoever I draw is going to be back in those lily pads flipping around because with all the grass that's in there, it's going to be tough to find places that you can fish. So my goal, guys, again, I appreciate you guys tuning in this week. It's just going to be something I gave you guys a spiel earlier about why I've been gone. I've been missing. The issue is that I've had life happen. I bought my dad's house. I really didn't buy it. I've been getting it into my name. Obviously, there was a mortgage on this house. I had a mortgage on my house, so I was paying 2 mortgages at the time. Misty and I were trying to fix this house up so we can live in it, and while taking care of that house over there, crazy. It was. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Long story short, we sold that house, paid this house off, so I'm now 38 years old, and I paid my boat off, and I paid my house off now. So right now, I'm in a great place, in my life as far as finances goes. I don't make a ton of money as a teacher, but right now, Misty and I are living in about a 3,500 square foot house that doesn't have a payment on it anymore, which is to say that I feel like I walk around and I'm 6 foot tall is an understatement, man. I'm right now, you know, I'm 5'10" on a good day, but it feels like when you have all that weight lifting off your chest, it's a good deal. But I say that to say this: I appreciate you guys sticking around with me through this year when I haven't produced much content. This year going forward, from here on until the end of 2023, you're probably going to get sick of seeing my face on YouTube and Facebook because I'm going to be posting a lot of content. Again, this year I've landed a pretty cool sponsorship with Do It Molds. Drake Leak and the guys at Do It have been more than accommodating to me. Anytime I need to ask a question or whatever, they can get a hold of them guys there right now, tell me exactly what's going on. But I am now in a potential and a possibility where I'm going to be starting making baits and stuff. So if you guys are interested in picking some of those up, you can definitely do that. Right now, I have about 10 molds. Shaky head. I have the weedless Ned rig. I have the standard Ned rig. There's a lot of different things. So again, hit me up if you need some baits. I might be able to help you out. But I got a lot of stuff coming on. I'm going here in 2 weeks, going to Lake Erie fishing with Chuck Dodson and um, Scott Mowry with Get Hook Charters. Guys, we have one more spot available for fishing. We're going to take a charter boat again. I'm not going to tell you guys the price here on live, Facebook and YouTube. But if you would like to go walleye fishing with me, Dusty, and a few other people, we are going to get, it's a great time. You're not going to find a better time. It's going to be fairly chilly. We're talking about 2 weeks from now, so it's going to be kind of chilly. So make sure you dress warm. But we do have one spot. If you're interested, shoot me a message or text me if you have my number. We'll talk about it, give you some more information. Not a bad setup there, K Flair. I do believe that 3/4 ounce might work, but I think I tell you one thing. I was flipping a 1/2 ounce weight one time and got smoked. I couldn't catch a fish. The guy in front of me was absolutely wearing them out, and he was throwing a 1 ounce weight. Um, Andrew, the Chevy is knock on wood, doing well. That is another thing that's kind of taking up some of my time this year is not the Chevy truck that I bought, but the Chevy truck that I bought after I bought the Chevy truck. I bought a 1985 Chevy K10 truck that I've been restoring. I'm not restoring it to a trailer queen or a show truck. I'm restoring it to an old beater with a heater that I can jump in and go haul truck, just do truck things in, haul wood and things in. And you may be thinking, well, you've already got one. I don't know, call me a weirdo, but I hate putting anything in my high country. I use it as a tow rig and a nice truck to go places. Just got back from mountains of West Virginia in it. Great time. But I wanted something I could just throw some wood in the back of and not care about. So I bought a 1985 square body. It's at the transmission shop right now. But after that, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Can't wait to get that thing back. But the Chevy right now, man, my 2020 high country, knock on wood, because you know how I am, very superstitious about trucks. One thing I will tell you is that it has been much better than the Ram truck that I had before that. And again, I've said it 100 times. I'll never own another truck that has a farm animal on the front of it. I promise you that. Appreciate it, Aaron. Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Kip. It's all good. Like I said, it's just one of those things. Life happened this year, but I'm ready to rock and roll and get back out there on it. I watched J.R. White throw the Hellraiser bait that everybody's been going crazy about since ICAST. I have to say, man, it actually looked very good. We didn't catch any fish on topwater at all, but that new Hellraiser was awesome. It actually was really cool the way it worked. Uh, do I think it's going to be another Whopper Flopper? For me, I don't know. I don't know that I'll own one. I have plenty of topwater baits, but I do the way that it looks. Second off, Greg Drown just picked up, or actually didn't just pick them up. He just got them shipped to him. The new Shimano Mirabel reel, which is a crazy reel they just released at ICAST 2022. You're getting the Magnum Light rotor. You're getting a few other things in a $129 price point, which you could only get it at a $225 price point before. I do believe that for 125 bucks, that Miraval is going to be hard to beat. I feel like that it's probably in the same realm as a Noski as far as the smoothness and stuff, but it's going to be half the weight as a Noski because you're going to be having that you have the CI4 frame compared to the metal frame that you get on the Noski. Both have their their time and places, but I feel like if you need a $100 reel, $125 reel, you owe it to yourself to look at that spinning rod or a spinning reel from Shimano called the new Miraval. It's actually really daggone cool. So that's kind of what you're going to see over the next few months. Again, every Tuesday I plan on going live and want to grab a. I'm going to reach out to Saltzman, and see if I can get him on the show here before long because I love watching that dude on TikTok. He's a great personality. My dude Chase Sansom from the area who worked at Tackle Box for a while was I think he was the captain of the Marshall fishing team last year. Landed a job with BASS, which is actually really cool, man. I'm super pumped up for that dude. Hopefully everything works out for him. He just moved to Birmingham, Alabama not too long ago, like last week, packed up everything he had, went down there, started working for Bass as like a social media expert, which is really cool, man. Chase, if you're out there watching, congrats, buddy. Hope you guys are really I wish you the best of luck and hope you can, make all your dreams come true, which I'm sure you will be. Have you on the show here soon. We'll be talking about how it happened. So it's been a cool year, guys. Slobberknocker. So the last video that I posted, you'll see that J.R. White, my buddy, caught actually three of the four fish that he caught on the Berkeley Slobberknocker. I'm not sure. I think they're all the same, guys. I feel like the jackhammer, the original Z-Man, chatterbait, the thunder cricket, they all have a little bit of odds and ends. So what do I feel like is best? You're getting a better hook on the jackhammer, in my opinion. Can I tell that much difference as far as the action of any of them? No, I can't. I'm not a purist. I don't fish them enough to tell you the difference, but I will tell you, there JR had a slobberknocker the other day which is a Berkeley version of it, and he caught three of the four fish that he caught. And if you watch the video back, man, he had an absolute hammer of a bass. Follow this thing to the top of the water and miss it. Probably a 4-pounder, I'm not sure, but you'll see it actually kind of swipe at his bait, which is crazy. But it was a cool time, man. We caught some fish, slobberknocker. I believe it's going to work just like any other chatterbait. If I were going to choose any of them, I don't know. I mean, if you go by price alone, I don't know how much the slobberknockers are, but I do know a jackhammer is like $17.99. Speaking of which, if you guys are into the 3/8 version of the fire crawl jackhammers, Greg, I'm not sure if he has any more of them left, but he had them marked down for like $8, $8.99, I think. That is a steal of a deal, man. That's over a half off. 3/8 ounce fire crawl jackhammers at the tackle box, $8.99. Don't hold me to that because they may be sold out, but they were that price until they were sold out. That was only the 3/8 ounce fire crawl, but he had them for $9, which is crazy. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm talking about, Matthew. Make me proud, buddy. Signing a commitment letter, KCU, Kentucky Christian Mars Junior High School, and junior in high school. Sorry, not from junior high school. Official thing. That is awesome, man. Congratulations, buddy. You deserve it. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being out there and supporting me over the years. Matthew, if you need anything, let me know, buddy. I'll tell you where not to fish. That way it'll narrow down where you can fish. That's cool, man. All right, so guys, we're about that 40-minute mark. We like to keep everything about an hour long, but seeing as how this is the first show back, I don't want to go back here and I don't want to, have a bunch of filler context here. So I'm going to cut it off here for this evening. Next week, I'm going to work on having a guest on here. If any of you guys want to be on here, I would love to have you on here. It doesn't have to be a pro; it could be average Joes. That's what this is, an average Joe fishing show. So it is what it is. I appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging out with us tonight. Again, about 45 minutes long here, but we're going to be looking at the hour-long mark next week. We're going to be, again, reaching out to Ryan. I can't say that he's going to do it. I'm sure he's busy, but I'm going to shoot him a message to see what happens. I'd love to have him on there. I dig his content. He's a very good content creator. He's an awesome fisherman, and he's been promoting these really short-armed A-rigs that I really like, and I'm interested to see what they have going on here. So we will see it. Hey, Billy, thanks for joining, man. So again, next week, more fishing knowledge than it was this week, but I wanted to give you guys a lowdown. Life happened. That's why you didn't get a lot of content, a lot of live stuff from me, but we're going to be looking at going forward again into the 2023 fishing season. My goal of subscribers on YouTube is 6,000. It's the most I've ever had in my life. That's about 2,000 subscribers. A lot of content, a lot of traveling, a lot of live videos. You guys are going to see it. So I appreciate you guys sticking around with this episode of On Another Line. If you guys can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.